Alright, so the AI are done, their turn is over, and it's my turn now. The first thing I'm going to do is survey the damage that they've done in their first turn. So I looked over the footage of their turn, and they have taken 19 of my cities total. The Germans have taken 10 cities, and the other countries took a total of 9. The Germans got the furthest here in this area. They took those 3 cities and Vilna, and they've got units approaching cities beyond that already. Down in the center here, they took the cities that they were supposed to take. See, Hungary's taking those cities, Germany's taking Lutsk, and Romania and Germans are pushing further in the south here. And then up north by Finland, already pushing toward Leningrad, and showing a lot of force here still. They took Kem and Kovdor, and somehow they didn't take Murmansk, but there's not a lot of resistance left in Murmansk. And pretty standard for what they do for their first turn. I've played as the Soviets before, although not exactly on the same exact map. I've changed it slightly. So you may have noticed that some of the workers have already had their turns done. So what I'll do, at least for now, when it's my turn, is I'll do all the boring units just on my own and not record it. Because I don't think you want to see me just moving workers around or fortifying defensive units. I think I'll try to stick to the units that are going to be active. Except for this first turn, there are just so many units that I have to control. I can't, find all the ones that just need to be fortified and do those while not recording. And I will break these parts up. I'm pretty new to this kind of gameplay where I'm playing and talking at the same time. It's harder for me to think. So there may be breaks where I have to stop and consider strategy or rethink things. And the first thing I'll start with is what I'm building. Mostly workers still. I've been using my money, as you see here, it's going down, to hurry production of radio stations, workers, and sometimes walls. Radio stations provide 3 happiness for a city. And they're very, very cheap. So I can build them really quickly, get a lot of happiness, and then focus on the production buildings and workers improving the land to increase shield production. Another thing is the Soviet Mobilization Office. Most cities have this city improvement already, and every 2 turns they produce a basic infantry unit. So even I start with a lot of basic infantry units, I'll be making a lot more. I guess the Soviets had a large infantry army, but they were of poor quality. So it's basically my many, many units going against Germany's fewer units, but higher in quality. So I guess that's part of the difference in strategy. I'll start up north, and hopefully I can be able to work my way down, just moving the units that I still haven't moved yet. With my subs, these are all Shuka-class submarines. I'm going to move some up north. This is Finland here. And circle them around to Norway, which is already controlled by Germany, and see if I can do reconnaissance and scope out what is happening over here. But their U-boats will probably make their way back up here and push down into my territory. Some of the other U-boats, I'm going to retreat back here to this choke point. I don't know what this is called, but hopefully I can defend this ocean here where Arkhangelsk city is, to hopefully keep these waters in my territory, or under my control, at least. So I'll move a couple for you. And I can move the rest on my own, I guess. But they really won't come into play until much later. This unit here is a BT 7 or 9, as 8 attack and 9 defense and 4 movement. So it's a fast light tank. Somehow didn't get destroyed in the first turn, even though it's surrounded by German units. There's an elite panzer division. So remember, the tanks can't go into forest unless there's a road connecting it. So I've already thought this through, and I'm just going to... Oh wow. That is a Waffen SS and 2 artillery units. Wow. I'm just going to park it and fortify it right here in the forest just to be in the way of the German units and to be a nuisance. I'm sure it'll be destroyed though. It's about the best I can do with that unit, I think. And I forgot to show you down here, this is in the Balkans, I have partisan units. They are invisible to the enemy AI unless it's a spy. It acts like a spy unit. It's 4 attack and 2 defense, so it's not very good. And they can be moved around here, I guess, as a way to act like Soviet resistance in this area. I'm not sure how it was historically, but and I think they ignore terrain movement costs too. So I'll get back to these guys later and what to do with them. Alright, and I'll continue working down from here. My subs here, I'm just going to fortify them right now. Some of these units, I'm just going to put them where they are and deal with them at a later time. And as you see here, the units in my cities, I've already fortified them. Most of the fortified units in my cities are either the basic infantry units, like this one right here, or the Maxim MGs. They have 12 defense, which is very good. All the major countries in this scenario have heavy machine gun units with very high defense values, but Maxim's downside is that it doesn't have a lot of hit points. Most of the other heavy machine gun units of other countries have a lot more hit points. And then, here, for example, here's a bunker that I put to defend Arkhangelsk. It has 12 defense, and it can bombard if need be. But I'm just going to fortify it now and forget about it. And then as I scroll down here, there's only one road kind of connecting this upper northern part down here to the kind of main section of the Soviet Union. This section here is the tank factory section. Extremely important. This is where a lot of great wonders will be able to be built that produce tanks at a fairly decent rate. They're all T-34 tanks, which are some of my best, and I think historically one of the most produced tanks ever. But right now it's not producing a lot, and but this is what the Germans will go after. It's like they know this is my big production center, and they'll spend a lot of units trying to get here. But where more interesting units are is in the Leningrad area. There's already a lot of action happening here. So Leningrad has a lot of units in it. Most of them are naval units, submarines and destroyers, all the way down to even more destroyers here. I'm just fortifying them for now. They don't need to do anything yet, as of yet. I have some subs in this lake, or whatever it is here, just providing recon so I can see more of the Finnish units. What's really going to defend Leningrad are these fortress units here. They have 18 defense value and 18 bombardment value, and there are 5 of them, I believe. Most of the early units have nowhere near 18 attack value, so it's pretty much impenetrable as of right now. So what I can do is wake one up, hit bombard, and bombard this Finnish unit. And now he's down to 1 health. I don't know why it jumps over there. But these are, looks like a light tank, a BT-5, and a BA-10 armored vehicle. So this is another thing I'm not sure what to do about for this Let's Play, is go in and explain every unit that's unique and tell a little bit about it. Some of these units I know a lot about, some of them I don't know too much. Or just go ahead and head straight into the action and straight into the strategy. And so what I can do here, I don't have many offensive units here, mostly defensive, is take a KV-1, which is one of those early Soviet tanks, move them up, and I'll take out the more difficult unit. And then retreating back to Leningrad. And see if I have another unit that can attack. So I made there was already an army here. I filled it up with regular Soviet infantry. I'm not sure exactly what to do with all my armies. You start with several. I'm considering just purposely destroying some of them because I feel like I have too many to start with, or just saving them until later when I've got more units and I can fill them with much better units. But I'm not sure what to do. I'll take a Maxim MG and attack. And destroy it. Everything else I'm just going to leave in Leningrad for now and just kind of hunker down and settle in at Leningrad and wait for the main assault by the Germans. I don't think the Finnish will make any serious attempt to take Leningrad. They'll just try to control this area between Leningrad, and then they'll send their forces down on this road towards Petrozavodsk. As of here, I have lots of units, most of them are just the lowly infantry though, and a machine gun nest, which is one of those in-place units. Can't move it anywhere, so the only thing I can do is fortify it. And a KV-2, which has very good stats of 16 attack and 14 defense, but only 1 movement, and not many hit points. I'm just going to fortify him here, and then fortify the other units, and wait for the Finnish to come and attack. They will take the city eventually. I just want to buy as much time as possible. I'll be doing a lot of that in these early turns, just buying as much time as possible. So like right here I have another KV-2 that I haven't moved. I'm just going to settle him into Leningrad and fortify, and then counterattack out of Leningrad north towards Vyborg. And now it wants me to fortify all these units in Leningrad, but I'm not going to do that. So the other part I forgot about, I'm going to show you now, is Finland's naval mines, or naval mines in general. There are a lot of naval mines in this map. These are the only ones that really bother me as the Soviet Union. They have 20 defense and 4 hit points, and they're blocking my way out into the Baltic Sea here. Or, if I get through those mines, then I can have all access to the Atlantic through here. I'm sure this is for historical reasons, to keep me out, or keep my navy that's in Leningrad out of these waters here. So originally they were 50 defense and pretty much impossible to get through until late in the game. I lowered them down to 20 defense, mostly because the AI would attack these attack each other's naval mines just suicidally. They would, send an entire stack of cruisers and destroyers against them, and they would all perish, just completely ruining navies. So I reduced them to 20 so that, if they send battleships against them, the battleships will probably win, 9 times out of 10. They're just more like hindrances instead of impenetrable barriers. And also at Helsinki, the Finnish capital, is stationed their navy and most of their air force. I'm not going to bother duking it out with their navy right now or with their air force. I'll deal with that later. I'm just going to keep all my ships here for now. And again, I've got bigger things to worry about. So as I move down here, or over here just south of Leningrad, I have a lot of Katyushas that I still haven't moved around, and a couple of more tanks here. So I start out with a lot of BTs, like BT-5 and BT-7s. These are light, fast tanks. They're spread out through lots of different cities, and they have a lot of movement. With the Katyushas and the BTs, what I'm going to do with them is just spread them out even more, so that cities, especially important strategic cities, have a few of them. They're gonna eventually die. They're gonna get killed by the Germans some point. I just want a little more resistance, a little bit more, a few more ways to buy time for myself to increase my production power and start producing superior units. Let's see here. The KV, I'm just going to keep them at Novgorod. That's a pretty big city of a size 11, and it's like a gateway to the further tank factories back here. And more Katyushas here. So, I'll move him to this city. Again, it would probably be boring just showing me moving these to just different cities, and just getting more to the point. I'll look at this airfield here. So I have a lot of very primitive biplanes, 8 and 6. Those are not good stats, even for early on in this scenario. But what I can do with those is, I'll move some to Leningrad so that I can recon the area around Finland and just see what they're doing. Wow, they're already bringing in workers to build roads so that they can bring troops in faster. Okay, and then the others I can just put on air superiority missions. Hopefully, I'll move a few towards Narva. They like to bombard Narva. So I'll move them over here to fight off the Finnish Air Force. Or at least be sacrificed fighting them, because they are very pitiful, like I said. Down here, where the Germans are making very fast advances, as you see, I'm retreating the workers here, getting them away, because they're going to take these cities very soon. They already have I don't know what unit that is, but it's fast, and it's right next to my airfield. I'm going to sacrifice a couple of these early biplane fighters. I know they're going to be taken next turn, but I really, really want to see what the Germans are doing back here. So the rest of them I'll move further back into other cities where hopefully they can survive for at least a little longer. And again, I don't know if I need to show you all these units, but just a couple more notes. The Leibstandard SS, extremely powerful infantry unit. I think one is produced in Berlin every 5 turns. Now they've already got one moving up here. I guess it started with it on the front lines. There's a Stug, which is, I think, like their tank destroyer unit. Very strong. Already moving up. There's, that's a type of Panzer. Don't know which type, though. That one's named. And they got more motorized infantry, a half-track, which has very good defense value. They got an MG-34 with 12 defense, so it looks like they're already working on shoring up their defenses of the cities that they've taken. There's more fast units down here, 4 movement by whatever that vehicle is. Another half-track unit moving in. There's their motorcycle, Elite. It's a very good unit early on. and that is a Waffen SS 1940 unit. These units are extremely good. They ignore terrain movement costs and have stats as good as any of my tanks as of right now. And then looks like they're already knocking on Minsk's door. So what I'll do with, there's a T-34, one of my best units right now, is I'm actually going to retreat this guy further back and save him for later. I'll keep most of these units here fortified just to give the Germans something to attack, so they have some kind of resistance. These units up here, I forgot to mention, the ones with numbers in front of them are usually either artillery or anti-aircraft units. And both of these are anti-aircraft units. There's a 90mm AA with, I think I can check it out here, 8 air defense, which is pretty good. And then the what looks like an AA unit on a truck, very maneuverable, also an AA unit. I'm going to retreat these guys. I'll retreat them even further to Smolensk. They're going to serve a much better purpose further back, protecting my production cities than these frontline cities. Yeah, the other thing is that the Germans haven't bombed me much. At least the first turn they didn't. But don't worry, the Germans have a very large air force with a lot of bombers. I'm sure they'll be bombing me soon enough. And then the Katyusha I'll just fortify. And wants to keep going back to these units that I haven't dealt with. Oh, there's a Soviet light MG. This is another type of infantry unit I forgot. It has 11 defense and 6 hit points at regular, so it's pretty decent. I'm just going to fortify him here. And I got more of these armored vehicles. I'm going to retreat him. And then fortify this guy here. And I'm going to take a quick break and work on more of these units. Alright, I'm back from working on some more units. After doing that, I've realized that I'm taking too long to go through all the units. I have a basic laptop. In order to put this in an editor, edit it, export it, and upload it is just taking too long. So I'm going to speed up here for these few parts. I'm not going to show you every single troop movement. I'm just going to explain in general what I'm going to do, and then as the turns go on, I'll lose more and more units, and hopefully I'll be able to show you more of the battles. And additionally, these early turns, there's little battling going on except when the AI go. When I move, I'm just redistributing troops and tanks in other places. So what I did do was take some of my fighters. I moved a lot of my fighters back to cities further east so that they're safe, but I did use a few of them to recon different areas, and I can see that they're moving up more units. The faster tank units and motorized infantry units are coming up first because they're simply faster and can move further and quicker than their infantry, which is lagging behind. And then further south down here, I can see what the Germans are doing. They've already built their army up, have several tanks here, and here are their infantry units in stacks. Did not mean to try to contact them. Even more here, and I also saw that the Romanians, that's the Romanian unit right there, is blocking some of the additional German units here from moving up. So that's not good. Hopefully the Germans don't try to reroute them to a different place. Hopefully they still use these units to attack in the southern section here and make their way towards Stalingrad. At least that's what I'm hoping. The other thing is, what I'm doing is, because I have a lot of units that are armored cars, they're very mobile but have so-so statistics, and I have some T-34s which have much better statistics. I am taking the armored cars and fortifying them in cities that are close to where the Axis are attacking. So I know they're going to get destroyed, but they're there just to slow down the Germans. And then what I'm doing with the better units, like the T-34s, is I'm retreating them. I'm moving all these guys back further east to keep them alive in order to use them when things start getting really tough. So again, I'm trying to use defense in depth. I'll show a few more stacks that I have, if I can find some. Like I have these other T tanks that have not as good statistics, 5 attack, 8 defense, 2 movement. So like I have a big stack of these. I'm just gonna spread these guys out, 1 or 2 per city around this area and fortify them, just to slow down the Germans as much as possible. I'm not going to concentrate them in one spot or create one big army in one big stack of units to attack them with. I'm going to spread everything out for now. Let's see here. I'll show some more. This is another T-40. I have a lot of these starting out. Again, only 2 attack, 8 defense. So I'm just going to put these guys in cities that I know the Germans are going to attack and fortify them and use them to defend. I have more stacks elsewhere. In this city, I have a bunch of BT-7s. Again, a light tank. I'm going to spread these guys out, especially in the north, where I know the Germans are going to hit the hardest, and just fortify them. And then only counterattack units that are very weak. Let's see here. And then, as you see, more BT tanks. These are actually further down south. I'm taking surplus units from the south and moving them north, because I know I'm going to need them in the north more than I need them in the south. And then I'll show, I will show this one part here. So they've got units moving up, and I've got a stack of T-34s and some more armored units here. So this is the Katyusha, the rocket launcher. It has 3 movement, so I can just move him up, bombard the motorized infantry. The Katyusha doesn't have any sound for when it bombards. So I heard a little bit. Again, has 10 health as an elite, which is very good. And then retreat him. And I'll move back there. So I can take my T-34 and attack this, I think it's more like a scout unit. And I'm going to immediately retreat him back to Pinsk. I'll fortify him there. But again, I will take these armored cars, like the BA-64, and I'm just going to fortify them in these cities that I know are going to be attacked shortly. But I'm going to take the T-34s, and I'm going to move these guys way east. And then when I unlock more technologies in the tech tree, I'll be able to upgrade them. As you see here, this is T-34-40. When I upgrade it to the 41, has a slightly better statistics, and again, still relatively cheap. Then it goes up to the 42, which it even has even better stats. And then up to the 3485, which is the best T-34 in the game. A 13 attack, 15 defense. That means it can hold its own against any Panzer III or Panzer IV unit. And I'll be, again, once I get to that point in the game, I'll be mass producing these just left and right. And so I think that concludes the first turn of playing as the Soviets. Please comment if you want me to do things differently. It will be hard for me to go really in depth though, because it's just taking too long, and the videos that I upload will be extremely long as well. And it'll take me forever to upload them. So again, but please comment, let me know what you think. The next video will start out with the AI going, and so I'll do, hopefully, if it doesn't take as long this time, 1 video per turn. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I don't know when the next videos are going to be up, but I'll keep working at it and keep plugging away. Thanks.